Welcome, viewers, to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio, that is I, where no God is required for a life of love, joy, peace, fulfillment, meaning, and purpose in life. And the good life is one guided by reason and motivated by love. I've taken a few weeks off, took a little vacation. Christine and I traveled, went to Florida, had a great time with my parents, and we are now back. So I'm ready to get going back on some new, good, interesting episodes and messages to my viewers. Today, what do Christians fear? Are there fears within you, my dear Christian friends? And those of you that are religious, what do you fear? I will use Thomas Jefferson's famous quote. In fact, I like it so much I had to memorize it. Fix reason firmly in her seat. Question with boldness even the existence of a God. If there be no reason to believe in a God, you can let it go, he said. Do not be frightened from this inquiry by any fear of its consequences. Do not be frightened with fear. And I would like to call today's topic the top reasons many Christians stay in church and are afraid to let go of God. These are many reasons I've come up with through the many years I have been dealing with believers and talking to them and explaining to them that there is a life outside of God belief. Number one, and probably the most common and the strongest reason why believers continue to hold on to belief in God and continue to go to church. Number one is the community. Christine and I just came back from Florida. My parents are loving, wonderful people, and yes, they are very strong Christians. My dad was a pastor for many years. I worked alongside with my father and my brother in the ministry. And then, of course, as you've heard before in my previous episodes, I went independent as an evangelist and starting 2 churches of my own. We went to church with my parents because I love my parents. They know that my girlfriend and I are both atheists, but we just let aside our differences of atheism and Christianity, and we loved each other. I went to church, to a very large megachurch in Florida last weekend. And as I saw these people drawn to one another, and as I saw these people drawn to this large building, I saw, as I've seen for many years, there's a major reason that people are so attracted to religion. Number one reason is the community. And I will say this, that not everything that Christianity and religion has said and that what they do is wrong. This is one of the things that Christianity and other religions have done so well. They have constructed a community of believers, which makes it very appealing to other people. We all need to feel accepted and loved. Why? We are a social species. Sitting in this large megachurch, and seeing the bright lights flashing, the professional musicians and singers, seeing the coffee shop and the sandwich shop and everything else imaginable that this church had to offer people. I could see why people have a hard time letting go of church and believing in a God. Many Christians believe that this is evidence for the existence of a God. Well, I, my friends who are viewing, have been on both sides. As a young preacher years ago, I used to claim that this is evidence for the belief in a God because I go to church and with my fellow believers, I feel good. I feel wonderful. This is the presence of God, the Holy Spirit giving me this satisfaction and this happiness. Well, once I let go of God belief 25 years ago, I began to do case studies, which I talk about quite often on my channel. Well, some of the case studies I do and what I have done in the past 20 to 25 years, I began to go to other groups of people, Hindus, Muslims, New Agers, and atheists alike. And I found that people are people. We all love the community. We are all drawn to other people. There's a brunch meetup every Sunday morning that I attend here in Austin for fellow atheists, agnostics, and freethinkers. And at the end of our meetup, which is about a 2-hour long session, we get together and have brunch, we talk and have what we as Christians call fellowship. It's the exact same feeling I had when I was once a Christian many years ago. And as we tried and attempted to leave one another at the end of this brunch, we kept hanging out, talking, slowly moving to our vehicles because we knew we had to leave to go to other things in our life, but it was hard to let go. Why? Because we're around people of coincidental philosophies, people that are like-minded, other wonderful people. The same feeling that I had when I was a Christian in that church setting. I know this is simple, but I think it's very important to understand that for believers, it's hard to let go of a community. In the near future, I will discuss ways that you can find this sense of belonging in community as an atheist. Let's talk about another reason that Christians find in their lives that are so important that they can't not let go of religion and God belief and church. Number 2, hope. What is hope? Hope is a desire with expectation of fulfillment. On Facebook, I had a woman I've known for many years who's still a very strong Christian tell me and message me telling me that she could never, ever believe in a system, which is I call humanism or atheism, where I'll never see my mother again. This woman has hope that she will once again see her mother who died many years ago. Hope does give people that attend church and believe in the supernatural something to look forward to, the fulfillment of what they believe to be true. What do I have to offer you, my dear Christian friends and other religious people? Well, we'll discuss that in the near future. Number 3, fear and reason that Christians and other religious people hold on to their beliefs and hold on to church attendance is comfort. We all want comfort. We all feel comfort when we're around other people. I always do case studies also, and I look at vehicles when I'm driving here in the city of Austin, and I like to count how many Jesus crosses and crucifixes I see hanging in cars. You'd be surprised how many there are. I'm sure many are Catholic, many are Baptist, and different various denominations of Protestantism. These religious icons tend to give religious-minded people comfort. You feel comforted when you know that somebody's watching over you. Daddy is watching over me, I've had many people tell me. My Heavenly Father watches over me. It gives you comfort. This is something that many Christians do not want to let go. Number 4, fear that many Christians have about letting go of God and letting go of church attendance is security and protection. There is security in numbers. Let's look at the natural world. We, as human beings, as Homo sapiens, are part of the natural world. Let's look at other species of animals other than the human animal. Let's look at different various species of birds who flock together. Let's look at other species of mammals that are prey mammals who stay together for security and protection. Let's look at various species of fish who school up together. There is a reason that there is protection and security in great numbers to help individuals in each group to avoid the predators. We humans are not much different than other species of animals. There is an innate sense in us to feel security and protection in numbers. Also, I do case studies many times where I wonder why in a parking lot of a mall you want to park sometimes away from others, but many times people will park their vehicles close to others. Why is that? Is it deeply ingrained in the human psyche to feel protection and security close to others? When I first was divorced from my marriage over 22 years ago, I started attending theaters on my own, my new life of independence, back in my late 30s and early 40s. I remember going to movie theaters by myself. I kind of wanted, at that time in my life, to be alone. So I picked a seat in the theater away from everybody else. That's where I was in my life at that time. But I noticed that people congregated around other people. If one person sat here, other people would sit close to them. Why is that? It's ingrained in our psyche through natural selection and evolution as a social species to feel that security and that comfort to be around many people and other people. I think we're all hybrids. I like to call myself a hybrid. I'm part loner and part extremely social. We probably both have that. Church offers security and protection in numbers. I can see it on the faces of people. I saw it in the faces of these Christians in that large megachurch last week, how they feel secure and comforted to know that other people are around them. Number 5, a fear that many believers have: if I let go of God belief, I will lose my moral and ethical behavior. This is probably my largest pet peeve of all through the many years of speaking to Christians and all other believers in the supernatural. The belief that you will not have morals and ethical behavior if you quit reading the Bible, if you cease God belief, if you cease and give up church attendance. The belief is ingrained in you through the pervasiveness of Christianity and religion and preachers that you will fall into the abyss of immorality. Name me a moral action or statement committed or made by a believer that could not be made or committed by an unbeliever. I posted that on Facebook many times, and the only answers I get from Christians are prayer, or is prayer. Couldn't name me a moral action or statement. We are moral and ethical. The human animal understands morality and ethical behavior. We can be moral without a God. Morality is doing what is right, regardless what you are told. Christian religious dogma is doing what you're told, no matter, out of obedience, no matter what is right. Number 6, another fear that many believers have, and I'm talking about the believers that are having these doubts and fears. The same believers that I talk to every Sunday morning as a missionary, as an evangelist of free thinking, and my few friends go every Sunday morning to Sunday school classes in churches after we feed the homeless under the bridge. Invariably, there's always 1, 2, and even 3 people in the classes that make a beeline to me or my friends and confess to us that they have these doubts and fears, but they're afraid to let go. Number 6, repudiation. Repudiation simply means to refuse to have anything to do with. The fact is, many people are repudiated. And if you do let go of God belief and church, and you enter the realm of reality, you will be repudiated by some. I have lost friends, some, but I've gained many more friends. We all experience repudiation to a certain extent, and it goes both ways. I've been told by Christians that a family member of theirs was cut off because they turned to Jesus, even though they were raised in atheism. Now, I have never met anybody yet to prove to me that that is true, that that has happened to, but again, I've heard this from some people. It can go both ways. If you let go of God belief, it could happen very possibly in your life. I remember a few years ago talking to a young man for lunch, a man who was brought up in Christianity, a man with a degree in science. We sat down for lunch and he spilled the beans to me, confessed to me that he does have doubts, he does have fears, and he's at the brink of letting go of this mythological concept called Christianity. But because of his family ties, because of his strong Christian background, his parents, his newlywed, his wife, his in-laws, he couldn't let it go. He's afraid of being cut off. So the question is, do you want to live a life of truth? Do you want to pursue what is real and proven, or do you want to continue to live a life of mythology, a life of supernatural belief systems with no evidence? Most people, sad to say, enjoy that feeling they get from religion. They enjoy the feeling of community, of hope, of comfort, security, protection, of morals, and not being afraid of repudiation, because if you stay in that group, in your tribe, you don't have to worry about this. Again, fix reason firmly in her seat. Question with boldness even the existence of a God. Do not be frightened from this inquiry by any fear of its consequences. There's nothing to be afraid of, my dear Christian friends, and those of you that are religious holding on to these mythological concepts. I and many others have made the choice. We have chose reality. We have chose reason over faith. And we have progressed on in our new lives, and we're doing fine. Got a message on Facebook, which I do periodically, from friends and former friends, I should say, sad to say, from my life many years ago as a young preacher. And I get messages all the time from them saying they're weeping for me, crying for me, and grieving for me because I made the choice to let go of God belief, the conclusion that there is no belief in a God. It's hard for them to accept this fact, and I just tell them, many of us have made this choice, and we have progressed in life, and we're actually happier and better, doing better than we had before. Left the airport last week, and I wore this t-shirt. I've got my Friendly Neighborhood Atheist t-shirt on, and I wore another one at the other airport, coming back from Florida, my other t-shirt, which says, "This is what an atheist looks like." And happy to say, not sad to say, happy to say, I was approached by many happy people. I was very surprised. In fact, I wrote an article on this on my Facebook page, and I posted it. Most people that came to me were fellow freethinkers and atheists who encouraged me and told me, "I like your t-shirt. Thanks for being bold. Thanks for being brave and wearing this t-shirt, that this is what an atheist looks like." Well, that makes me happy to know that there are other people out there. There were a few people that didn't understand why I was wearing a t-shirt. They were strong Christians and they did approach me, but that was great because I was able to let them know, hey, don't be afraid to let go of religion and enter reality. Well, thank you so much for watching the show today. And if you like what you've heard, if you like my channel, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. In upcoming episodes, I will begin to build into humanism. I'll begin to offer you rebuttals, my dear Christian friends. And I'll give you answers and ways that you can find community, hope, comfort, security, protection, morals without a God. It's called humanism. So stay tuned. Have a wonderful